Jake Paul is fighting Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. this Saturday. Chavez Jr. was never really a good fighter. Now add on the fact that he is washed. However, he was champion and he did fight Canelo. I'd pick a 30-year-old Chavez Jr. to beat Jake Paul easy, but at this stage of his career, I'm expecting Jake Paul to win easy. In recent months, there has been talks that Jake Paul could potentially be ranked by the WBC at cruiserweight. Now, we all know that WBC has done stuff like this before. They are giving Manny Pacquiao a title shot against Mario Barrios despite him being retired for 4 years. We need to remember that professional boxing is a business. It's common sense that Jake Paul is going to bring in more viewers, better numbers, more money than 90% of any cruiserweight out there that the WBC or any other sanctioning body can make. The biggest fight to be made at cruiserweight is Jai Opetaia versus Zurdo Ramirez. And while I think that fight will do great numbers, I still think any fight that Jake has will do even better numbers. That's just the reality. I have a few videos on this channel saying how much Jake Paul grows on me. He's a hard worker. He really is. He's a good promoter. He's doing a lot of good things for women's boxing. Basically any big women's boxer out there, he's trying to promote. He's getting them on his cards. I respect him for that. A guy who was just a Disney YouTuber before 2020, all right, in a few years was fighting professional athletes, professional MMA fighters, former MMA champions, former boxing champions, is very impressive. I get it, we all want to see him fight Canelo. We all want to see him fight Jai Opetaia. We all want to see him fight Artur Beterbiev. That's not realistic. I mean, you compare his first 10 fights to any other prospect, his resume is way better through 10 fights, all right? You can't beat a professional MMA champion. I can't either, right? It's impressive what he's doing. I give him respect for it. Now, when it comes to the thought of him becoming ranked and thought of him getting a title shot next, yeah, I do think that's a bit crazy. Was this fight against Mike Tyson great for him? No, absolutely not. All right, that was more of a money show, and I don't blame it, money grab. But that's not what I look at when I say, all right, yeah, Jake Paul does have potential and he does work hard. What I do look at is just in his fourth fight, he goes a full 8 rounds with Tyron Woodley, a former UFC champion, and he beats him. Then in the rematch, knocks him clean out. I look at how he takes the loss against Tommy Fury, comes back and fights Nate Diaz, fights Andre August and Nate Borland, 2 guys who were real professional, legit boxers with good records, not journeymen like people are saying. They only had 1 or 2 losses to their name, and he beats them, knocks them out, and then of course fights Mike Perry, which is a boring fight, I get it, and Mike Tyson, a boring fight, I get it. But fighting Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. could be a very good test for him. But once again, what I'm really trying to focus on is pro boxing is a business. They're going to have guys jump the line that you're not going to like, all right? They're going to have guys like Jake Paul jump the line to get a title shot or fight a ranked contender when he shouldn't be, when other guys, real professional boxers, should be doing. It's professional boxing. It's a business. Just like Manny Pacquiao, who's been out for 4 years. All right, he's getting an instant title shot, skips the line over all the WBC ranked welterweights. I get it, that's Manny Pacquiao, an 8th division champion, Hall of Famer. I get it's Manny Pacquiao compared to Jake Paul, but it's a business. Manny Pacquiao shouldn't be getting an instant title shot after 4 years. Manny Pacquiao should have had 1 or 2 fights before that title shot. But it's a business. It's a professional business. It's a business that makes money. That's all I care about. He'd most likely be ranked through the WBC, and the champion right now is, of course, Badou Jack, which I think Jack would beat Jake Paul. Then we have McMillan from Germany, Rosicki, Peralta. You know, the cruiserweight division historically has always been weak, right? There are not a lot of deep guys. The champions could be very good, like Jai Opetaia is very good, okay? But the depth is not that good, all right? The opponent that Jai Opetaia is facing is not that good. That's not his fault, but the cruiserweight division, once again, is just a weak division. I look at, the 13th through 15 guys. I mean, there's a guy ranked 14th, WBC cruiserweight, 50-10. A guy ranked 15th, 7-4 in the WBC. That'd be a good fight to put Jake Paul against and test him, all right? I don't think Jake Paul should get an instant title shot right after Chavez Jr., but if you're going to rank him, if you actually want to test him, put him up against a top 15 guy. This guy right here from England, doesn't even say his name. I'm on boxlive.com, 7-4. It's 15th ranked guy. Put him up against him. Here's another guy. You always say Jake Paul fights old fighters. Well, Jean Pascal, former champion, 37-7-1. He's old, but that'd be a good test for Jake Paul. He's a 10th ranked cruiserweight. I mean, that'd be a good test for Jake Paul. And listen, I don't mind it though, because if Jake Paul fights these ranked contenders, if Jake Paul gets a title shot and he gets his head spun around, well, then that puts that conversation to rest. If Jake Paul wins, well, then how can we complain? Obviously, Jake deserved it if he's winning. Obviously, Jake Paul deserved it if he's knocking guys out. How could we hate, right? But if he's making the money, and once again, boxing's a business. If you want to give him a title shot and he gets knocked out and he gets stopped, well, it puts the conversation to rest. At least we saw it, right? So I don't know. I think I look at both sides of it. Business, and it's what's going to do best for numbers and viewers and money, okay? And it's a cruiserweight division, very weak. At the same time, right, like it's unfair to the guys in the actual rankings who are fighting real boxers, putting their lives on the line. I'm not saying Jake Paul doesn't. Anybody who steps in the ring deserves respect, and Jake Paul works hard, but you guys get what I'm saying. Alrighty, let me know what you guys think. Who's going to win the Chavez versus Jake Paul fight? I think Jake Paul is going to win. I don't know by knockout. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a stoppage TKO. But I do expect Jake Paul to win. This will be his first 10-round fight that he goes all full 10 rounds. Going to be good for his conditioning. Going to be a good test there. I think he'll be all right there, but I'm hoping Chavez puts up a good fight. It's not going to be rigged, okay? If Jake Paul knocks out Chavez, it's not rigged. If Jake Paul beats Chavez by decision, it's not rigged. All right, we got to look at their careers and where they're at, right? Chavez Jr., inactive, battled with drugs, and was never really that good of a fighter to begin with, but still a good test, still a real fighter at the time, still a former champion, Chavez Jr. was. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys think of this whole video. Make sure to subscribe. I'm out. Peace.